So, hi guys, welcome back to the Tech Room. This is another episode, another interesting one, because we have a very interesting guest. Y'all are not ready.
We have Gen Zs in the building.
This couch is full of Gen Zs.
Except for me.
She's in denial. She's in denial because. But anyway, it's nice to be back for yet another episode. So I'll let everyone introduce themselves. I'm Audrey, and this episode is sponsored by Investafarm. Today, you'll get to learn more about Investafarm from the founder. Anyway, did I just introduce you?
No.
Anyway,
You didn't mention my name.
okay, introduce yourself.
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Moses. I'm co-founder and CEO in Investafarm. Basically, what I do is I'm more like the face of Investafarm around.
Okay.
Yeah, so Investafarm, we basically provide loans, access to loans for farmers in Africa by connecting them to lenders across the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a few. Introduce yourself.
I'm your co-host. Thank you so much for having me here.
Your name, please, madam.
Feza.
Yeah.
Co-host.
Yes. So talk to us more about Investafarm, because I won't lie, this is the first time I'd heard about it. But yeah, reading about it and seeing your website and everything, it's really interesting. So
Yeah.
it lends money to farmers across Africa. What's the journey? What's the story behind it?
Quite interesting. We actually did not start off as Investafarm. We had a very weird name.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
A very long church name. So it was Polygon Circular Community. Yeah. It was a long one. I don't know how we came up with that.
Circular
Yeah.
polygon.
Community. I just don't know. But yeah, we were more of like techies. I remember the company started off from a hackathon, a global hackathon. That's the first time I actually met my other two co-founders. We went to this hackathon together, and they were all new, so they asked us to like group ourselves, and then we had like participants from Kenya, from Brazil, from Nigeria, and from USA. So different teams building different projects, trying to create solutions, and we had like 3 bounties to be won. So I remember meeting my first 2 co-founders, and we had like this chemistry. So we sit together and we're thinking, okay, what can we build? And I'm telling them, okay, I feel farming is a great area to focus on, because there's not so much innovations with farmers. So Corinne tells us, okay, there's not so much innovations with farmers, but the reason is farmers are not tech savvy. So you'll be building a product, but really building it for yourself. So it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So we made a few calls with a few farmers Corinne had worked with, and then decided to settle on financing. So financing for farmers, because Corinne had, from her previous experience, she had seen so many farmers get turned down whenever they came for loans for banks, either because of the paperwork or they just didn't have the documentation.
Yeah.
But it's not like they were not qualified to get a loan.
Okay.
So we sat down and thought, okay, what's the best way to actually build a simple product so that we can win the hackathon? Because then you can really build a product that's fully functional. So they announced the very first bounty. So like there was the main bounty. So they announced number 3. And then number 2, they announced us. So we like number 2 in that bounty. And then they go to number 1. Number 1 was a team from Brazil. And then they announced the other 2 bounties, and like we won the other 2 bounties. So we won like 3 bounties. Cash prizes it was around 700k Kenyan shillings. We were so excited.
Were you guys still sick? Were you guys still sick?
We were shouting. Like shouting. So they asked us to do a speech. But now that did not happen. The whole Investafarm did not start from there. Because I remember we went into, I'd say, using the money for 1 month. So like we spent the entire amount on things we wanted.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we
Totally
were
makes
broke.
sense.
Yeah, back to zero the next month. So we're thinking, okay, we're such a good team. We have very good chemistry. We can decide to maybe build products and then go to hackathons and win.
Yeah.
But now
It could be a thing.
Yeah, it could be a thing. It could be something we could go on to do. But now we're thinking, okay, but we have a product that won.
Yeah.
And so like it's a bad product.
Yeah.
We can think of how we can monetize it.
Yes.
Okay, how are we going to do that? Number one, we have a very weird-looking solution. It was a very bad MVP. We didn't do quite a good work with the UI. So we thought, okay, there are different things we would need to basically have in regards to the business. Previously I had run a startup before that was Sharia Street. I had built a USSD solution to help GBV victims. So I had learned a little bit of management. So I told them, guys, I have the networks somehow, and I'm so good at pitching. So meaning I can go to so many places and get us money.
Yeah.
But now we need to build this. We're not going to earn
And make
anything,
it presentable. Yeah.
And not earn anything.
Yeah.
So from then on, we more like built our second version of the product. Went to so many pitches. Yeah, and here we are.
Yeah. Anyway,
So before even you ask him, I want to know Investafarm. How did you come up with that one?
Yeah, so Investafarm was also, I would say, coming up with name for businesses is the hardest thing I've had to do.
What do you use to look
So
for these things?
number one, you have to ensure that it's going to be a domain that does not already exist. Because if you have a name with a domain that already exists, once you get investment, it means that everyone would be looking for that company online,
and they'll get
the other
another
business.
one. Yeah.
So investors normally feel it's a red flag. So
Yeah.
we needed to choose a good name.
Yeah.
So I thought investors, since we're bringing in lenders and we're connecting them with farmers. So that's where Investafarm came in. Yeah, but Investafarm with an A.
Yeah. Very simple. Yeah. Hiyo polyglot bado akili inakata. Anyway, so you've talked about investors, and you said you had another startup before.
Yeah.
So many young people are doing startups every day, and then what is the secret to getting here? Because you're not only doing it for Kenya, you're doing it all over Africa. So like, what could you say is the secret?
I wouldn't say it's really a secret or there's a recipe. Personally, I would say it's there's a lot in entrepreneurship to learn than you think you know. So different people have different experiences. Like I remember my very first startup, that's Sharia Street. We used to connect gender-based violence victims to social justice centers through USSD. We worked with.
Does that still work?
Yeah, it still
That's
works.
a very good.
Yeah, so
solution.
I remember I started it off from also winning. So I went to Hill Justice, won a pitch. Yeah, so when
You're very good at pitching.
Yeah, I'm very good at pitching somehow.
Yeah.
So when we won the pitch, we got money, and we felt personally, I wouldn't say that it's something of, if you look at some of the areas I Innovator are, it's on social kind of innovation. So basically building on problems, because I've had first-hand experience in dealing with problems. I've grown up my entire life in the slums. So you used to see these women, these young children, as young as 5, get raped, killed, and dumped in rivers. So it was a horrific experience. So you grow up from seeing that, and then you think, okay, I can actually do something about it. So growing up, I always had things in my head I wanted to always do. So you're thinking, okay, we have that, and then went ahead to build that. So from the experience I had, Sharia Street was not a for-profit
It
kind
was
of
just
company.
for change.
Yeah, it was just for change, and there's no way I was going to bill on the victims. You couldn't ask someone that was going through domestic violence to pay you.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't making sense.
Doesn't make sense. Yeah.
So it was very difficult for me just navigating that. First, we started it as a non-profit, but now the grants didn't
Started
come
coming,
in. Yeah, and we pretty much had to have good networks and connections. So we decided, okay, now it was more like just thinking, what's the best business model that can actually work? And that is now where we defined who was going to be our customer and who was going to be our client. So we decided to do things like events to be able to support the main company. Events, partner on some of the things that we would do with these women, take them to training and all that. So that was a different way of just generating income to the business. So from that experience, I would say there's not really a unique way of like starting a startup, because you're going to get so many things, especially rejections. I would say there are times I was rejected, especially for Investafarm. I've gone through rejections so many times, and you'd go out and then you think you're going to, like, it's buzzing, you think you're going to come up with something really great out of that, but now you get rejected, and then you have to come back, and then you feel it in, like you're literally so worried, and then you didn't, okay.
You don't cry?
Okay, I would say I would listen to so many different music genres, but now you don't know what gives you peace, so you keep on moving to the next music genre.
Keep trying.
You keep trying, you go to the ones that give you energy, you don't find peace in that, you go to reggae, gospel, as long as it will take your mind off.
You try God.
It was a very horrible experience for me, I would say, especially when you get rejected. But again, after you get rejected, what makes you stronger is, because before even you get rejected, you're actually selected to go there. So there's something here. But now you have to know what's not working right. So we used to look at some of those rejections. Whenever there was a no, we analyzed, why was there a no? Was it us? Was it the business? Does it not make money? Is it not good enough? We had to know why.
Was it them?
Yeah, was it them? So we have
because sometimes it's not you.
Sometimes it's not you. Sometimes it's them. So you have to know. You have to know whether it was personal or not personal as well.
Okay.
Oh yeah, what makes you different from other? Like, why can't I just go to like a circle and ask them for money? Or
Like
to come to
a bank
farm or a bank here?
So number one, what we built, we used something called customer-centric design on building our product. That's having empathy, basically building around you. So first of all, we wanted to create Investafarm to provide affordable loans to farmers. That was the main goal. And how we were going to do it was we were going to bring in something called stable coins. With stable coins, we were able to significantly reduce on the purchasing power, but we would convert it to local currency to farmers. But now, from building the business along the way, we now came to the realities of the ground. So realities like, before you actually provide a loan that's affordable to someone, you have to know how the different institutions already work. So like banks, how do they work? How do they do their KYC for farmers? And then another thing would be, why are so many people not ready to give farmers loans? So you have to understand that as well. So after evaluating these different factors, if you look at agriculture in Africa, people stay away from giving farmers money because agriculture is very risky. You might give them money today.
Depends on weather and climate.
Yeah, weather and climate. So it's not really a thing with greenhouses and everything. So farmers are pretty much all over the place. So they would be so much hesitant to give them money. So we needed to find a way in which we can be able to ascertain that our money is going to be repaid back, because at the end of the day, we're still a business. And then we are not just a business, but we're actually giving you someone's money. So it's peer-to-peer lending. So we are actually
needs their money back.
and they need to get that guarantee that my money is going to be paid back. Whether there's rains or floods, the way it happened, they need to know that that's going to come about. So we now brought in insurance, embedded insurance into our product. Whenever there's drought, whenever there's floods, whenever there's diseases, whenever the farmer falls sick or dies, the loan can actually be paid. So that sorted the whole, I cannot repay back because of this and that. And then now on the affordability, we looked at all the interest rate. If you look at what stablecoins is able to provide for us, number one, you're able to access capital at a wider market base, in the sense that anyone from the US, anyone from the UK, from Europe, from China can get their money onto the platform. All they need is their wallet. They understand all the whole nitty-gritties with the wallet and stable coins. But now we take it through our platform. The platform automatically handles the liquidity. and then give the farmer money. But now we realize we gave farmers money, but farmers didn't just use money to actually grow crops. They paid their fees.
Because they have other problems.
Some of them upgraded their households, so it was kind of all over the place. So you come, you get to a farmer, you ask them why they're not able to pay back. They say this kid was sent for fees, and then they use that money to pay. So you are more of like, okay, this is difficult. So what we did is we decided to work now with agro stores or agricultural partners we felt were certified. So what we would do is, and again, just bringing the user in. You could build a very good product, but if your users are not able to use it, then it's a waste of time.
You created it for yourself.
So we thought, number one, what is the best way to make the customer journey better? Number two, to ensure we actually maximize on these loans that we give to farmers. So that's where onboarding farmers through agro stores came in. So we went to specific agro stores, we onboarded these agro stores, their profile were in our platform, and then they would add their farmers. So farmers would come in more of like they're coming to buy inputs from these agro stores. And then they're told, by the way, we have Investafarm as an option to take a loan here. Or if you want
so they're doing the marketing for you.
Yeah. Or if you want to maybe add on what you're buying and you don't have the money, you can get
someone can give you money here.
Yeah. So that was really important for us to just getting closer to the farmer, also onboarding them easily, and also just ensuring that money is actually not given to them. It's sent to the agro store, and then what the agro store has to do is give them the input. Yeah.
So that someone doesn't make a house. Ukinipatia loan mimi najenga nyumba. Alafu you start calling guys like those teller guys who call people.
So that's something we also had to. I would say giving out loans is normally a red flag. Because something that if you go out today and take a loan, the first thing that comes to your mind is, how am I going to pay? So that's something we needed to go through. So it takes a lot. It takes, number one, education. So we needed to change how it works, not giving farmers money, giving them inputs. And then number two, you have to find a structured way for them to repay you back. So we did a benchmark of how different products work. If you look at some of the BNPL products, buy now, pay later, the likes of the solars and bags, how they grow, and the phones that you pay very soon. People have actually
embraced
been able to do that more. So we decided to incorporate that in our model because it's something that was working for Africa. So we needed to have all these, I would say, learning different things, getting that experience, writing it down, trying it out. And then when you find it works, then
you move with it.
You move with it.
So like for you're young. Because you're talking about all these things. I'm like, when did he start doing this? Because was I asleep? What drove you into, like, first of all, tech? What drove you into tech? And then what made you want to be like, I don't want to be employed anymore. I want to start my own thing and move along with it?